Hello, everybody. Jess Los with SBCA with another weekly update, Structural Building Components Association, for the subtitles that are probably right there in some platforms. Uh, Really, another interesting week with SBCA. I've been doing a lot of thinking about particular things, one of which is wall panels. Wanted to talk a little bit about that and really, what's going to be the best way to continue to promote wall panels and their usage for our component manufacturers. And I've been thinking about the go-to market. Obviously, a lot of component manufacturers will manufacture wall panels. They'll continue to go to the same installers that they've been selling their trusses to, and maybe loose lumber as well in some LBM operations, and just ask them to use it as a substitute, as if they were substituting a Cinco nailer for a Pasload or vice versa, or something like that, as a direct substitute, when in reality, it's much more of a different go-to-market strategy for those installers or framers or whomever it is that's going to be erecting the wall panels. And I wonder, how many instances are there of people approaching it that way, as opposed to just a direct substitute for framing, as more of its own unique business model with its own unique business plan? And that's one of the things I've been thinking about. Can we as an association help promote that as its own business model? And those instances where wall panels are successful and are utilized relatively easily, can we use some of those success stories, do some case studies, that kind of thing? So if you've got one of those success stories, or if you have an idea that you'd like to talk to us about, please reach out to me. I'd love to have that conversation as we look to continue to promote wall panels. And I'm really thinking, if it's something we can do a case study or a white paper on, that SBCA can help promote, of allowing framers to rethink the approach to their business, as opposed to just trying to substitute and, kind of cut that, kind of take the easy approach is probably the easiest way to say it, as opposed to really rethinking the business model and how they go to market and how do they capture the efficiencies that wall panels offer, and be able to use that as a complete solution to the builder or whoever is requiring that, those walls be stood up. So really thinking a lot about that. Beyond that, a lot of work on the strategic plan. Seeing some of the answers come in from our initial questionnaires. We're going to have a meeting with our facilitator tomorrow. That's just going to be a one-on-one to kind of get that kicked off. The strategic plan, it's amazing how many people look at that. We've got our strategic plan from 2019 posted on our website. And I hear a lot about that from people that are interested in SBCA, whether it's a potential vendor, potential employees, people in the industry that just want to learn more about SBCA. They go to the strategic plan as one of the starting points, and it tells a lot about SBCA and what our endeavors are and what we're working towards. And they ask questions on how are we succeeding towards that strategic plan. And the timing right now is great for those conversations, because I get to talk about the things that we're doing for our next strategic plan. That's going to be a 3 to 5 year outlook, probably closer to 5 years with the 10-year vision. So those things are, it's really timely that we're able to talk about that right now with people that are interested in SBCA. And those are some of the great conversations I get to have week in and week out. So really working on that, looking forward to that, as we're going to continue to work on that through the end of this year and into January. So you'll probably hear a lot more about that from me in these upcoming videos, because that's where we're working on. Beyond that, we've got our Phoenix OQM coming up, a few other events. You can always go to sbcacomponents.com/events and see everything that's going on, whether it's chapter meetings, that kind of thing. Beyond that, we do have a lot of committee meetings that are happening. This week, we have the NFC steering committee. They met talking about all things NFC, which is great. A lot of progress is happening there, talking about even the golf outing for next year. I think that's coming up in June. So if you really want to get out ahead on your 23 calendar, you can mark that towards the end of June for that steering committee, the NFC golf outing. Beyond that, we've got a couple other committee meetings coming up next week. The governance committee is going to be meeting on Monday, as well as the 40th anniversary. As we're getting ready for SBCA to celebrate its 40th anniversary, we're going to be doing a lot of activities there, probably mostly around BCMC, but we're going to be celebrating that. And our past President's Council is actually going to be heading that up, doing a lot of the planning. So it'll be interesting to see what that initial meeting comes up with next week. So I'm excited about that. We also have a marketing committee meeting next week. That'll be interesting. Justin Richardson with Rich Co. He's going to be heading up the marketing committee. He's taking the chair. He'd been the co-chair for the last few years. So he's relieved Greg. Thank you, Greg, for all the effort that you put into the marketing committee over the last several years. And I think the marketing chair before Greg might have been me. So once you're in that marketing chair position, you kind of hang on to it for a while. So looking forward to all the good things that Justin's going to be working on, as well as the remainder of the marketing committee, our staff. So that's coming up next week as well. And finally, as I wrap up, I want to wish a very happy birthday to Kent Pagel. That's coming up, I think, on Monday. So happy birthday, Kent. Pagel Davis and Hill. He does a lot of, just a lot of great things for the association, for the industry. So really want to thank him, wish him a happy birthday. If you've got his contact information, send him a text, wish him a happy birthday. So happy birthday, Kent. I believe it's a big one. So hopefully you have a great weekend. Hopefully everybody had a great Halloween. Remember, coming up this Tuesday to vote. We'll be on, hopefully get beyond some of those political ads, and we'll get on to something that's a little bit more normal. But beyond that, I hope everybody's having a great business. Love to hear from you. Really reach out about those wall panels. And until next week, peaks up, press on, and we will talk to you all a little bit later. Goodbye.